Weird. Weird. Okay. So I'm gonna wait for a few minutes. Still, a few people join, and then we're gonna go basically through the changes that have been happening in the last few days. Because since Monday's stream, I have, well, changed a few things here. Um, well, basically, what I did, uh, I rebuilt the B pillar and the whole side here. Of course, the goal was to make the B pillar better, and to make this part, well, not maybe not stronger, but cleaner. Use less parts, use fewer parts, and make everything more efficient. I did some enhancements in the front as well, mostly color related, because I'm on a rampage of replacing everything that I can replace with black parts, basically. So everything that isn't bodywork would be black, in order for us to get this contrast. So yeah. So today today we are basically going to do a few things. First, I want to do to see if I can do, the glove compartment and cover here, the kick panel here under the steering wheel, to a reasonable amount. And I would like to address this here. I'm going to show you what the problem here is, but it's a problem. This If we want this model to be, buildable and be something that people can build of digital instructions and stuff, this needs to be addressed, because this is the same collision issue that we have with the B pillar, and we can't have that. Yeah. Other than that, of course, we are going to continue our rampage of seeing where we can omit parts. There's plenty of opportunities, of course. Um, I have done quite a good job so far, but here and there's areas where we still can do some things. So let's go through it, and if people are not here, then they will have to rewatch the video. Okay, let me. I mean, I have to disassemble most of this in order to show you. And of course, there's also improvements to be had here in the door. Um, Fewer parts here and there. Um, Everything here needs to be black, of course. Um, yeah, so improvements still possible. Um, where should I start? Okay, yeah, let's take the rocker panel off again. It's actually so nice how easy everything is to disassemble. Modularity for the win. So obviously, one of the things that I improved here before, just to show you to what extent I'm willing to go. So before we had, you see, this part here and this part here. So before, this part was there. So here in this position, basically. Now I basically remove this, and we have just this here. It's maybe, you know, the weight difference is maybe not that much, but this and a few other parts here and there, at the end, you know, it makes a difference. Okay. What I also did was make these here black, of course. I made parts here in the front. Of course, everything that I could make black is black. I also, it's hard to show you, but I made the attachments for the track rods stronger here. So the steering is now more robust. But yeah, let's take a few more things off that we don't need today, that are not relevant. So, well, the main focus that we had on Monday is the B pillar. So what I did, first of all, man, if this doesn't go any lower, no, okay, it'll have to do. Just don't move, right? So obviously we made the plate, and see these here, and they hold the plate on. This is still debatable. We can put a tile here and make this plate, you know, stick further out. I don't know. Debatable. This can also be white. It's black now. We'll see, because, you know, this is black, and this panel here, this frame is gonna be black. So, you know, it's gonna be, I don't know, look better. Anyway, what I wanted to show you before we continue, of course. Come on. Yeah, first get rid of this. Come on. There. And now let's get rid of this. There. I actually forgot how this goes together, but you know, I'm getting old. And here, yeah. Okay, basically we don't have to disassemble this as much. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I was thinking. So last time we focused. That's better. So last time we focused so much energy in creating a structure that would be strong as is, you know. But then I was thinking, wait a minute, this is a unibody. In a real car, the side panel, so basically this thing here, is part of the structure. So why do I not use the strength of this to basically enhance this? And so I did. So this structure here is okay, but it's not, it's not perfectly rigid. See, it can move a little bit. However, once you install this, it can't. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm using the bodywork to form part of the structure of the car, which is the whole idea behind all of this. And if you remember how this looked last time we had a frame here. That frame is gone. I have replaced it with a structure that is well, maybe not lighter, but it's more efficient, and it also solves my issue here with the rear suspension attachment, because now we have the rear suspension bridge attaches here in a very rigid manner. Let me show you. I'm going to flip the car and let's see what I did here. So basically we used this panel here, which is attached very, you could say loosely, but since this part here is held on by the rocker panel, which is the goal, of course. This here connects to this panel and to the small panel, and this here, of course, see, is, well, it's reasonably strong. It cannot move back and forth. And then once the rocker panel is on, this is all fixed into position. So we use as few parts as possible, and it's actually better. I have it's a 2x4L lift arm here that we're using, like this, and it's fine. And this, of course, is used to attach the rocker panel on. So I mean, I was thinking, what could I do to make this better? And of course, we are reverting back to this version of the latch and this version of the mount, because I found that this actually works. It's efficient. It's very few parts. It binds this all together, and then once the side panel of the rocker of the quarter panel goes in, it's fine. Everything here is solid. And as a bonus, the B pillar is extremely easy to remove. So it's you just clip it in here and here, and it cannot go anywhere. So it's it retains the good parts of before without the negative parts. And one of the positive things is also that because we don't have the panel here, the frame here, the panel is now in the same level as the rest of the trunk, which is also good. Well, I'm not gonna do inner fenders in the production version, but everybody is free to make their own, and I'll probably include something once the car is made remote controlled, just simply because I don't want the tires to to throw stones and everything inside. You know, just that's my thinking. So the main problem that we have today is something that I discovered. Uh, well, not accidentally, but you know, I went through the roof and thought, okay, um, yeah, sure. I'm grabbing it and wiggling a bit. Wait, it can wiggle only here. No, it's no big deal. And the forces here are coming basically just straight. So basically they're coming back and forth. And this panel is perfectly fine. I thought about about connecting it somewhere here, and there is room. There is room. We can connect it. I don't know. Here, I don't know. We can use here. This part can be extended here, and you know this can be bind together. Of course, can be done. Maybe even should be done. Yeah, maybe we should do this. Um, but those are really small things. Um, there. This takes care of all of this. So I would say that's good. Panel cannot wiggle anymore. Everything is, yeah, it's even better. So back to the main problem of today. Basically, the only remaining main problem that I still have with the car, other than details that are not really that important. I think this part here is gonna require us to do some thinking. So what's happening here? We have the same collision that we had on the B pillar. So this part here is colliding with the lift arm, and it's creating. You see, this is slightly curving. If only the camera would focus. Camera focus. Come on. Focus. Thank you. You can see it. You know, you can see that there's a curvature. It's basically pushing these out on each side, which is not good. You cannot design this into CAD properly, and you know it's just it isn't proper. I don't feel comfortable with this. If it was a car like the Bugatti will be or whatever, which strength strength is gonna rely on in part on parts being intentional like this, so that it's really gonna feel like one piece. But here I'm not comfortable doing this, so we have to think of doing this corner here in a different way. In the front, of course, in the front we have it done. We have it done like this. So the part that curves is of course not making contact. is not making contact with the roof panel, but in the rear it's kind of a different situation because we have the hatch, and because of the hatch, we cannot do the same trick as in the front. You know, so I'm. Where do you start? Where do you stop? Okay, thank you. So this part here is okay, but the problem is the connection here on the bottom. So I'm thinking of making this slightly different, maybe with connectors, so that the actual connection point here, so this part here is being moved one stud inwards, but this surface here would remain, kinda. That's kind of the idea. Now, how to execute this, I don't know. And this is gonna also change how the rear hatch top part is done slightly. But the top part of the rear hatch needs some changes also because of some hinge problems. But we're gonna address those once we figure this out. We can easier. It's easier to adjust the hatch than this. So let me take a sip of tea so I can think better. No, Christian, I think I mean, yeah, maybe the 3x7 panel would fit better, or maybe not. I mean, this one is fine. Either way, I mean, the good part of this panel is that it's kind of, it kind of curves a little bit back, so it's not a hard edge. Yes, the panel, the 3x7 panel would, create a nice flat surface here, but we can do either. Either way, it would be fine. But with the flat panel, this connection would be then different. This would then be, I don't know. I don't know how we would execute this. If we could even execute this in this manner, then we would need to basically combine it here with a lift arm. Probably. Or yeah, we could, a connector could be done here. It either way, it would be fine. We'll see. So this edge here, what to do with it? Whatever we change here would have consequences, right? So I'm thinking, could we do something crazy like this? I think we could, so that it wouldn't be quite. the angle here is negotiable. It can be slightly different. And if we use, for example, this guy here, like that, you know, this by the way, does this exist in white? That's a good question also. Does this exist in white? So if we would use this, then we could get away with this. Let me show you what I mean. So obviously this is going to be different slightly. So this guy goes away. Okay. Now we would use this. Yeah, like this. And it has to be, how long? Fiber. Do I still have fiber? Yeah. Okay, so then fiber would come here. 11 sets. Okay. So now the problem I see here, if there is a problem, you are already immersed into the Audi drivetrain, I assume, together with Ben. Because chat, you have to think, you have to know that Christian and Ben are already in Discord. They are already heavily involved into the designing the drivetrain of the Audi. You know, they are taking this very seriously, very seriously. So I'm going to on a limb here, and I'm going to stretch this a little bit here because you know I am not sure if the geometry here is entirely correct. We're not even sure how correct is it, if it is correct. But until I plug this in and take some measurements, I am not gonna know. Okay. So now let's measure.
Okay. This looks to be very straight.
So the difference here, just okay. So the way I see it, the gap here is straight. So this is okay. Um, Obviously, we are going to shorten this. So this is going to be moved one stud further inwards. And for this, of course, we're going to use a different lift arm. But I mean, Ben is doing a good job, I must say. He's really into it, and I have to commend him for that. He is really taking on the challenge. There we go. And this also solves the problem of this binding here on this. Nice. Okay. Let me again take measurements. Because this is kind of important. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The gap between those is the same, which means that this here checks out. So this support here is actually pretty good. Now we have the same, of course, situation on the other side, and then we have to make again a fix for of course our wiggling problem, which might be easier now than before. But let's fix the other side first. So let's make this side the same as this, and then we can assess it. Yeah, let's take this out. So 3 studs. There we go. This one. There. So even simpler than I thought. So now this is nice and straight. No more binding here, which makes me happy. So what we have to do now is we need to fix this into position so it cannot do this. And the best way, of course, is to flip it around. And look at it in this perspective. So, what could we do? This kind of has no effect at all. Interesting. That's gonna be the most difficult part of this entire build. Is gonna be how are we going to prevent this from wiggling. And the great part would be if the camera would actually focus this instead of the panel above. Let me think. The problem here is, of course, that before the pivot point of all of this was here on the edge, and we could have a lever. But right now, if we wanted a lever, we would need to pick the leverage point, for example, here, and then stretch it to here, probably. So we would have to do this, and that's maybe here, so it's not as far down. And this is probably exactly what we should do. Yeah, that's probably exactly what we should do. So find a connection between this pin here instead of this pin, and probably I think this would be enough. This would be enough to prevent the pivoting. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's see what options we have. For this, I have to give you a better perspective of what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm basically replacing the pin here with a blue pin. There, like this. And now I can basically take this piece and see if any holes actually match. There. Let's see if any of those holes match. And I don't know if they do. The problem is, can you see it through this? Probably not, or probably. Oh God, this camera. Okay, so you can see it through this. So, camera focus, please. Yeah, I'm asking too much of the camera. right now. Will you focus, please? Hello. Okay, yeah. So this here might be the right location. My only issue is that if I stretch this to be able to fit over this, what happens on this side? So in the worst case scenario, we would use, you know, something like this again to change the angle or the length of this ever so slightly. But it's just a matter of experimentation, I guess. Yeah, let's experiment. I'm gonna do the same, so the same change to the blue pin on this side. And we'll see. Do I not have? I surely should have. Yeah, I do. Another black lift arm. Now, before I reveal the results, it should be possible. Let me change this to the blue pin as well, and then I'm gonna show you. Hopefully this is gonna work. If not, I'm just gonna be a fool. Oh, okay. Does this even have an effect? Oh, of course it doesn't have an effect. That's the problem. Okay. Let me just do this. And then let's test. Of course, I mean, if there's no effect, then it's all for naught. It's just academic. Yeah, it doesn't have any effect because of the pivot point. Yeah. So we are kind of able, as you can see here, we are kind of able to attach these two. However, they don't do much because the pivot point here is too close, and this should be angled so it would, you know, it would attach to this guy here, to the third pinhole. So maybe we can try this. We need a longer lift arm. Let's see if it fits, and it fits. Who would have thought? It fits. How it will look is an entirely different story. Wow. What? No. Oh, okay, yeah. I thought I'm gonna need to use a much longer lift arm. Okay, this seems to look good. But first, let's see if this is any good. If it works. Doesn't work. It's all for naught. Come on. see. Does this work? I mean, so you see this thing here now has a better chance, but it still kinda wants to pivot. Then again, so does the front. I mean, it's better than nothing. If I remove them, oh yeah, oof. My god. If they are not here, it's just jelly. If they are here, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna leave them here for now. I'm actually curious how this looks from above. So we have something that's quite visible, I guess. I mean, this is gonna be white, of course, but this, I don't know. This looks weird. One thing that we could also try is if now that we have this, if there's a connector that would fit. That's what we haven't tried yet. So maybe we don't need the lift arm here. Maybe now a connector would fit this and this. I don't know. If it would, then this would look better. That's a possibility. So, you know, if instead of our lift arm here, we can have a combination of a, I don't know, number 3 connector here. Maybe, I mean, maybe the number 3 connector is too much and it's not gonna fit. I have a feeling that we're not gonna be lucky with the connector, but if I'm wrong, I'll be very happy. Let's see. Let's try this. I am wrong. It doesn't fit. But you know what I'm thinking here. What if we would make this a connector affair? But then how would we make sure that this is strong enough? Damn it. Those angles. What? Wait. No, it fits. It fits. Hold on. I think it fits. It fits. Let's see if I install this connector like this with all the correct pins, if we get something resembling strength, this would be perfect. Wow. Okay. We got lucky again. We got lucky again. Interesting. Okay. So we need what? Yeah. There's a problem, of course, because we have pin, axle hole, pin hole, pinhole, axle hole, pinhole, and one of those, yeah, this is gonna be problematic, but maybe it's gonna be okay. I mean, the most important pin here is the pinhole, axle hole, pinhole. But it may still be okay. Because it's held on by 2 pins on each side. What could we do to enhance this? Could we do something to enhance this? No. Or can wait. We can do something. Hold on. Over engineering at its best again. So basically we need an attachment. This sits like this. So we need an attachment point here that has a pinhole here. And we are going to do this with this here. Yep. This. Oh my god. Okay. I can't believe that this is actually happening. So we have the axle hole, axle is coming here. Pin, pin, pin. Like this. Okay. Let me show you. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Oh my god. Very nice. Very nice. Let's do the same thing on the other side. And then let's see if there's you know, a comparison with or without and without, to see if there's an actual difference, and if there is, I'm very happy, because that's really an, in my mind, that's a pretty elegant solution, much more elegant than I thought. I can make an exact copy of this. And then I just flip it. Okay. And another one here. Good thing that I parted out the Land Rover, because it was very nice of it for providing those parts. No, come on. Go in there. This one still needs to be changed. Should be fine. Let me show you. So you see, now we have just this, and it's a nice clean solution, as clean as we can get. And I think, yeah, I can feel that it's strong enough. So basically here is an axle hole, so it axle pinhole, and then we have a pinhole that it's holding all together, and it should be perfectly fine. So now the next phase is we need to adjust the rear hatch to the new conditions here. So the attachment points are going to be the same, but those corners here are going to change. Let's see. And yeah, this is much less visible than it was even before. So the previous solution was much more visible here on the side, and I think this is, yeah, oh yeah, this is very strong, very strong. Okay, the rear hatch. Okay, first I'm going to attach it without the what are those called, shock absorbers. And we need to see first what the situation here is. And lo and behold, situation has changed. The situation has changed, or am I just stupid? because it doesn't want to close. Or 2 half lifetimes. Oh. Ah, you mean these two. Something can be done, absolutely. It is a it is a potential. But the problem is that I like them. The fact that they are it's all rigid. So what could be done? I would probably, I don't know. I would probably use those axle holes instead of those axles instead of those. But we have the problem now that when now things have changed a little bit. Sorry, because the roof here at this point has been lowered a little bit, not by much, but a little bit because of the tension here is being removed. The tension here was, of course, spreading this apart, lifting this a little bit higher, I suppose. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. We could think about it. Yeah, it is a possibility. Uh, but right now I have a bigger problem here. So, for some strange reason unknown to me, um, the rear hatch sticks one stud further out than it should. And this happened just now. So some change in geometry is gonna have to happen. I would say first I would probably want to change this here. Move it, or would I make it shorter? Make this shorter. Maybe. Well, anyway, I have to remove the wing because it's right now it's in the way. Yeah, let's see. What if I make just shorter? Obviously, this is gonna change things, but let's try it. What happens? Ah, yes, yes, yes. I see it. I see it. I see it. Yeah. Okay. So we need to change this. We need to change this part around the hinges. Yeah. This is being pushed out. I didn't see it, and of course that's the second thing I wanted to address. So when you open the hatch, you see even before the problem was here that the pivot point, no matter where it is here, it causes this part here to hit this, and of course because it's everything here is stretchy enough, it can bend and then pivot nevertheless. But we need to do something about this in any case. So changes have to be made no matter what we do. Yeah. Changes have to be made. what I would do is I would use a shorter lift arm here, and then have it in 2 stages, so it would, it would overlap like this, and then I would be able to have the pivot above it, and yeah, maybe do something here easier than now, maybe. Or maybe do the same approach as we used for this here, and use the same basically the same lift arm.
I'm looking if I have some. I hope I do.
So what if we would use the same lift arms here? So it would match the curve beneath. These would be, of course, one level below this. And yeah, let's see what are our options. It would be 1, 2, pick 2. Yeah, this is shorter, and then we would have this here, 1, 2. Yeah, we would have this here, and then the situation here above would change, and we could make the pivot here different. You are missing a few things. So basically what I would do as a start, change this. So let's see what happens here. Okay, see, now this has now the same angle as this. It's a start, I don't know how to then do the pivots. Because the problem is, whatever we have here that it's squared and not round is gonna make contact with this, so it's not gonna be able to pivot freely. Except if we make a pivot that would allow this, to kind of pivot above it and not directly on this axis. So like in the real car, which is a possibility. So kinda an L, if you want. Where is one of those? You know, in real life, like in the charger, for example, you have an L pivot, and you would have it, I don't know, like here somehow, and then when this opens, it would kind of pivot around a hinge here, but the hinge would be here inside of the car. I don't know, if we had, you know, if we had the pivots instead of on the sides, we would have them like in, you know, a toy car. We would have them here. We would have the pivots here. Then of course this would have to be different. It would have to be a fiver, and the pivots would stick out here. A possibility. Okay, so you see now we have a gap here, and that gap would be the pivot, and you would have the pivot that would now pivot like this. So this would be the upper position of the pivot, and then the lower position would be, I don't know, whatever we say it is, like here. Yeah. And we would have this part, you know, and then what happens is that when this opens, see, the hatch moves away from the body, instead of pivoting on this line here, and then you can have this part here basically making contact with this, and of course we then don't need this, but don't need this. We can use something else. We can use, I guess we can use here, well, we can use the connectors. Yeah, we can use connectors. Yeah, exactly, that's what we can do. We are gonna use connectors, so we're gonna have this here. Let me see if I can connect this on the bottom somewhere. Should be possible. I mean, exactly where it needs to be here. Exactly where it needs to be, it's not possible. Lovely. Exactly here, it's not possible. Okay. Damn it. That's a bummer. Let me show you what the issue is. Hey AMG. I'm so clumsy. Thank you. You won't see it here. I need to let's poke through this again. Yeah, this will be fine. Okay, so you see this thing here needs to be here, and then it pivots like this. So I cannot connect it here on the sides. There's, you see, it has to be exactly here, but here on the side there's no way of me connecting this. There would be a way. If I used instead of the 3x3, instead of this guy here, if I used a 3x2 connector, then it would be possible. Then it would be perfectly possible to connect this, because you see, we have behind this here, behind this here, we have a hole. We have a hole here. God, this is so difficult to show. Have a hole here, and then this would be possible. I think this would be best if we experiment with the roof off. Let me take the roof off. This is gonna be better. So, we're gonna see much better here. Okay. So, there we go. Much better. So, see, we cannot connect this anywhere here. This would be ideally the attachment point for this. Like, so it would be in the default position, it would be like this. See, like this, and then it would kind of hinge outwards. Yeah. But let's try to have a pivot here and a different, maybe a different different hinge, you know. We need to experiment. So we could have this as a pivot, and maybe we can have this here, you know, and see what we can do. So basically, this is just, you know, experimental. So take this with a grain of salt. This is highly experimental, and we can change this. This is just for me to try things out. So what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically what I want is I want this to be here, and then I want to see if when I open the hatch, this actually allows me to open the hatch. Otherwise we're gonna have to do something else. But for this I need to attach this somehow. Just temporarily, but I need to attach it nevertheless. Because obviously, yeah, this doesn't go. But this doesn't go because it's naturally, it needs room here. It needs room here. But yeah, that's not gonna go. That's too far. That's too. This hinge is too far away. This is too far away. Ideally, this would be as low as possible. So our best bet is to modify this here. That this is gonna be the hinge. Yeah. This is gonna be the hinge. Yeah. Problem is, if we make this the hinge, what's gonna happen with the strength of this? That's my main concern. So if we replace this with whatever we're gonna replace it, I mean, I have an idea what we're gonna replace it with, but even if we do this, see, suddenly we get movement, which we don't want. So both, it needs to be as strong as this, but it needs to be the hinge. So we can use these, and the axle here is gonna provide the strength. That's one option. Which we can try. I don't know if it's gonna be enough. See, but if we do this, then we cannot use this. We have to use a hinge that is made out of has pinholes. So we are definitely gonna do something out of lift arms, which might be better. So we would have this here, and this seems to be good enough. So we can have hinges here, and let's see. Obviously, I want 90-degree ones. Or do I want 90-degree ones? I don't know yet. Maybe. Maybe I want 90-degree ones, maybe I don't. And here we would See, this is exactly where we want them. Theoretically, this is where we would want the hinges to be. Not necessarily with the 90-degree ones here. These just enable us to have a bigger opening possibility. We could have just these, but these would then, yeah, these are not good. Yeah, that's not tricky. So okay, wait. It would be this, and maybe there is a solution here for us. No, I'm simulating the lift arm with this. So the lift arm would be basically here, and yeah, this isn't opening. You see, ideally this would happen. We would open the hatch like this, but we have to be more creative like this. My brain is working overtime. Just if you thought I'm idle, I'm not. Let me just take a look at the charger, just for a second. Huh? Okay. Okay. In the charger, it works first of all because the pivot is actually further away from the edge than here. And okay, let's see option number 2. I see a few options here. So, option number 2. option number 2. So you see these here, the holes here. We are going to experiment with those. There's two things that I would like to try. Keep in mind, we're just trying. I'm not happy about the using the blue pin here, but you know, we'll see what happens. So here I would probably like to use a 5 stud. No, 90-degree one. 90-degree one, absolutely. And it's gonna be, yeah, like this. Maybe it's gonna work. There's a high probability that we are gonna fail, but maybe, just maybe, this is gonna work. So now we have, it's gonna fail. I can see it from here. It's gonna fail. See, this is absolutely bumping into this. Okay, it should go over. Yeah. So this guy here needs to be lower. Yeah, it needs to be as low as possible. And with this, I think we have a chance. We have a chance. Obviously, we have a half a stud problem. Obviously. So, ideally, this lift arm here would be just half a stud. Lift arm, this axle. This axle would be just half a stud. This kinda goes over. It would go over. Thing is that I mean, the half a stud is not a problem right now because we need to make this kind of bend out more so that it has room to kind of swing out. So with this in mind, we're gonna make this well, different. It's gonna be, this needs to be probably a 5 stud at the very least, and then we need something else here. Or maybe it needs to be a 3 stud. Let's try a 4 stud. It's 45 degrees. Maybe this is gonna be better. So I know it's what I'm doing here is kind of let's say boring, but the end result is I think worth it. It's a lot of experimentation, and then at the end we arrive at a solution. So okay, this is just for experimentation purposes, and no, this definitely doesn't work. Right now, I'm just trying to see what the problem here is. Okay, so obviously this needs to be one step closer. One step closer. Okay. And one step closer is here. And here we have the problem that now we clash with this again. So what we need to do here is we need to modify this. Okay, no problem. We already have this here, so I'm gonna stick it in here. Come on. Okay, so this here. Now let's see. What if we do this? What if we have one stud more clearance here and still use a 90-degree connector? What happens then? So come on. No. No. I'm missing something. Why does this work in the charger and not here? Does this have to be one half a stud up, up? And in the charger, it's approximately the same dynamic as here. Sorry, you cannot see it. So in the charger, we have approximately the same dynamic as here. Yet this doesn't work. What is this? I think we need to recreate the exact thing that we have in the charger, and then then we'll see, I guess. Or wait, if this is this has a little more clearance, and if this would be here, yeah, then it would work. Yeah, okay, I get it. So it needs a tiny gap. It does need a tiny gap to get it going. But then the problem, of course, is this isn't present in the charger because it's attached a little further in. Oh. I have one more idea. Then I'm kind of bummed out. I don't know. One of the ideas, and I'm not gonna do it on the roof. I'm gonna do it here. Would be the following. So it would be something similar than we have on the door. Something similar. So we would have a lift arm or whatever, and the pivot would be down here. And then of course the roof is here, and then this guy pivots like this. Because that's how it works in the real car. So and we would have, so the upper edge of the window frame would be then 2 studs in order to incorporate this thing. Issue is here that this part here needs to be curved. It cannot be 2 lift arms like this, because the edges are not going to allow any movement. But if it's curved, then it has the room to pivot. At least one of those has to be curved. At least one of those. And we can simulate this here. We're gonna simulate this. We're gonna build ourselves a simulator for this type of pivot. Let me just see how we're gonna do this. And I think this is gonna be the most efficient pivot. Yeah. Okay. This, and now we have you and you. My tea is getting cold. Come on. I saw you. Here we are. Like this. And yeah. So now we have our pivot point. Or do we? No. No. This is not how it's gonna go. Our pivot point will be different. Okay. This, and now we build this. This is just an experiment. Of course, here where the pivot is, on this side, we cannot have anything, so it can pivot. So it can be flush with this, and it pivots. Something like this, you know? And this, I'm overclocking again. We are over-engineering things that maybe don't need over-engineering, you know. But in the end, it's what I'm doing here is actually gonna add. It's gonna make it a more quality model, if you know what I mean. So, in our case, this would be following. So we move the pivot one stud further away, and then we have an edge here. What I'm gonna try now, of course, is I'm going to simulate something here. Yeah. So we can have a square edge, and it works, I think. Yeah, it works. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a rounded edge. Of course, here we have the problem with this lift arm. That's why it's making contact. But okay, that's good to know. So with this in mind, we can now design the edge of the windscreen of the rear hatch. Obviously, it's gonna be black and white. It's gonna be white on top, black here. Somehow, I don't know. If not, probably all black. But We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's definitely how it's gonna work. And luckily for us, we can have those pivots as far out as this, and we're gonna replace these here with well, yeah, with 4-stud axles with stop. It will go would go through this in its entirety. And then this would be good. Well, depending on how the alignment with all of this is, we could even go with having the pivot points here, because this would give us half a stud clearance from the edge, solving many other issues. And then well, it depends actually how it sits here on the edge of the trunk. But let's go with this first. And we can actually use these here. Yeah, we can use these here. And we can use the 90-degree ones. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, this is gonna be so compact. Nice. Okay. So let me do one. Okay. And we can, from this, we can basically just attach one of these on, and we get the same situation as here. Perfect. Did I not have one more? No, I didn't have one more outside. Okay. Okay. Right, so these are then now our new hinge attachment points. Don't need this. We can get rid of this. And 1, 2. There. Alright, black ones. So these are our new hinges. Before we leave, let me butcher a few axles. don't need the 5-stud axles anymore. Come on. So now what we have to do is we have to marry this to this somehow. But for this, we need to reattach the roof to the car. Where did he go? Okay. So what to do from here on is the stuff for the next stream or for off stream, and then I'm presenting you with a solution because it's late and we need some effort here. Yeah, so anyway, where is this? What? I think this is one, or was, or well, still is. This is one of the last real challenges left in the car. After we've done this, after we've done the hinge here, I think more or less it's just parts optimization. And then the car is done. Parts optimization will, of course, be interesting still. It's gonna be a comedy of errors where we try to omit parts wherever possible. So this is going to continue. But of course, if you follow Discord, you will see a new group appearing for the Audi, where Ben has already started thinking about our drivetrain and how we're gonna do all of the axles. Not all of it will be exactly like it's there, but it's the way we're gonna go. So if you have time and check our Discord, link is in the description of every video. go to our Discord, and you can already see what's gonna happen after the Sierra is done. Anyway, thanks for watching and sticking with me with this conundrum here that we luckily solved. And I see you on Friday. Until then, have a nice weekend. Have a nice week, and I see you on Friday.